Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Emerge from Silence. This is the space where we show up exactly as we are, honest, imperfect, and human. And today, I need to show up raw and real because what I'm carrying right now feels heavy. Before I begin, I want to offer two important disclaimers. First, this episode contains emotionally intense content, including death, grief, burnout, and the overwhelming reality of nursing school. Please check in with yourself. If you're not in a space to take this in right now, it's okay to pause and come back when you're ready. Second, and very importantly, this podcast is for inspirational storytelling and support only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace the care provided by a licensed medical or mental health professional. If you are struggling, please seek help from a qualified provider. You are never alone and support is always available. Now let me walk you through what this season of life has looked like for me. Right now, my floor at work has transitioned into a hospice floor. Unless you've lived through it, it's hard to explain how sacred and how heavy that is. Hospice isn't just about pain management. It's about presence. It's about helping someone pass with dignity and love. It's about holding space for families whose hearts are shattering in front of you. Every shift, I step into rooms where I know the person I'm caring for may not be alive by the end of the week, sometimes not even by the end of the night. And I carry those moments home with me. The quiet cries, the tight hand squeezes, the whispered, "It's okay to let go now." It's hard to just shake it off when you leave. Sometimes I sit in my car after my shift, staring at the steering wheel, wondering how much more my heart can hold, wondering how I'm going to pour from a cup that feels bone dry. And yet I keep growing. Maya Angelou once said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." That's what I hold on to. Yes, this work changes me. It has to. But I will not let it reduce me. I can't. My grandmother was actually in hospice, and it was a very, very trying time. That's how I'm able to help these families because I know what they're going through. I know the grief. I know the pain just watching them go, and you know they're going to go. You think it helps you to watch them go, to know that they're going, but it doesn't. It only makes it sometimes actually makes it harder. Because like when my grandma, I remember that conversation with her, she called me and she said, "Amber, going into hospice." And I said, "Nanny, that means you're going to die." And she said, "No, that doesn't mean I'm going to die." I remember that conversation and I remember my heart just sinking into my stomach. I felt like my whole world was ending. And I know that's how these people around me feel. When I walk into these rooms, you can see it in their eyes. Their eyes are heavy. You can see their hearts are heavy. And just to be able to help them, yes, it's helpful, but it's also heartbreaking. Because as an example, I had one family that kept telling me, "She's going to get better. She's going to get better. She's going to be okay." And this woman died the same day. That was actually my first death I've ever experienced as far as a patient care tech. And it was very brutal on me. Honestly, it was very brutal. My heart shattered into a million pieces. I was a little rough for a couple days. Mentally, I felt drained. I felt like I couldn't keep on keeping on, but I did. Somehow I just kept going. And then next, we're going to talk about the mental battle of biochemistry and burnout. And just when I think I've carried enough emotional weight, I walk through the front door and school is waiting. I'm currently studying biochemistry and psychology. Let me be honest, it's like trying to run a marathon on zero sleep in a thunderstorm with weights on your ankles. ATP pathways, enzymes, molecular structures. It's overwhelming. And not because I don't care. I care so much that it hurts, but I'm tired. I'm tired and I don't understand the material. I'm working full time on a floor that deals with death daily. And then I come home and have to flip the switch into student mode. It's draining. It's disorienting and it's brutal. Sometimes I look at my textbook and cry, not because the content is impossible, Well, actually, I feel like it is, but because my brain is simply too tired to retain it. And I do feel like that's part of my issue is just that my brain is so tired, so tired. But then I remember Eleanor Roosevelt's words: you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. And I am facing fear every single day. Fear of failure, fear of not being enough, fear that I'm not cut out for this, but I'm still here and I'm still trying. I try very hard. Yes, biochemistry actually starts next week, but I've started to look ahead and it's brutal. It's so brutal. I read my textbook twice and I still can't tell you what I read. And I do think it's my brain. My brain is just tired. And then we're going to talk about the brutal beauty of nursing school. Nursing school, it's a storm that tests your will, your discipline, and your mental strength. And not just the exams and grades. It's mental warfare. It's sacrificing sleep, relationships, and sometimes your own self-worth because you're pouring every ounce of yourself into this journey. But even when it feels like it's breaking me, I know it's building me. I've learned more about myself in nursing school than I have in any other season of my life. I've found resilience I didn't know I had, and I've redefined what it means to keep going. There's a quote I always go back to. Nursing school is a test of will, patience, strength, and sacrifice. But every drop of sweat, every tear, every breakdown builds a nurse. That's done by unknown. And I believe it because I'm not just learning how to pass a class. I'm learning how to lead with compassion. I'm learning how to stay steady in chaos. I'm learning how to heal, even when I'm still healing myself. That's something I've learned as a patient care tech. I have learned how to stay steady in chaos because it's the hardest thing in the world when family wants you to do CPR or anything like that, but you can't. They're on hospice and they're DNR. That is the hardest thing it's hard mentally too, because we're trained and it's instilled in us. And that's how I feel, is that we're there to help the patient, but I can't help those. There's something I've had to learn though the hard way is I am helping those. I'm helping those pass on with dignity, pass on with, the things that they want. If they don't want something, they don't have to have it. If they don't want to eat, they don't have to have it. We don't even have a conversation. They don't want a bath. We don't. As hard as that is for me, because I want to be able to talk them into that bath, talk them into eating, even if I have to feed them myself, or figuring out what they can or will eat. If it's just some crackers or some fruit or, it's the hardest thing to change your brain for those patients to say, okay, these patients don't want to eat. They're going to die. It's okay that they don't eat. We also have more than just hospice patients on the floor, though. We have oncology and ortho patients as well. And that's what makes it all hard, because I have to switch my brain from room to room. Okay, this one's oncology and they're living and they're beating cancer and they're eating and they're, and then the next room is hospice, and I have to switch my brain to, no, those don't have to eat. Those don't want to do anything. They don't have to. That is the hardest thing to do. That has took an emotional toll on me. And then the next thing we're going to talk about, becoming the nurse I was meant to be. This isn't just about a degree. It's about the nurse I'm becoming, the one who knows how to speak peace into chaos. Let's take a quick moment for a word from one of our sponsors. If you or someone you know enjoys spending time in the kitchen, Rada Cutlery has everything you need to elevate your cooking experience. Known for their exceptional craftsmanship, Rada offers a wide range of high-quality knives and cookware, all proudly made in the USA. But that's not all. Explore their collection of gourmet dips, hearty soups, and beautifully curated cookbooks that make mealtime both simple and delicious. Visit the link in the show notes to browse the full selection and bring quality home-cooked meals to life with Rada Cutlery. The one who advocates fiercely for patients who can't speak for themselves. The one who brings warmth into cold, sterile rooms. Florence Nightingale once said, "I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuse." That's who I want to be, a nurse who shows up even when it's hard. Not perfect, but present. Not fearless, but faithful to the mission. That's showing up even when you're exhausted. Because as a patient care tech, there's been days I've been exhausted and I still show up. I'm not perfect those days, but I'm present and I'm there and I'm taking care of my patients. That's what matters. That's the kind of nurse I want to be, not just tech, nurse. Final reflections, you're not alone. So if you're listening right now and you feel like you're drowning, like you're not sure if you can keep going, like you're walking a tightrope between burnout and breakdown, please hear this. You're not alone. You're not a failure. You're not broken. You are becoming. Brené Brown reminds us sometimes the bravest and most important thing you can do is just show up. That's something I've had to come to terms with. Just showing up sometimes is what's needed. Just being there, being present. That's what's needed. So if all you do today was breathe, study a little, cry a little, and show up for one more moment, I'm proud of you. This path is not easy, but it's meaningful. And every late night, every emotional shift, every test, every tear, it's building the kind of nurse this world desperately needs. And I know you're that nurse. Let me leave you with this quote by Rumi, which feels like the anthem of this season. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. Let it shape you. Let it strengthen you. And when you're ready, rise. Not from perfection, but from persistence. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. I really needed it. I really needed an outlet today, and you have helped me with that. Just getting on, sharing what I'm struggling with, telling you from my heart the issues. That really helped me. So thank you. Thank you for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, share it with someone else who might be struggling silently. And as always, take care of your soul, give yourself permission to rest, and never be afraid to emerge from your silence. Thank you for listening, for holding space with me, and for reminding me that I'm not alone either. And once again, just a final reminder, everything shared in this podcast reflects my personal experience and emotions. It's not medical advice, and it's not substitute for speaking to your healthcare provider. Please take care of your physical and mental health with the professions who are trained to support you. Until next time, let your soul rest and never be afraid to emerge from silence.